All right, college conference championship games are finished. Time for our 49ers Bears prediction. Those of you who are on the San Francisco Standard already know the score that I will say at the end of this video, but we can talk about Brock Purdy against Caleb Williams first, and actually maybe correct what I have written down there at the bottom of the screen. We like to put the quarterback matchups up there just because it creates an exciting billing for games. But when people start to analyze quarterbacks, I think they often forget that the QBs don't actually play against each other. In fact, Brock Purdy and Caleb Williams will never set foot on the playing field at the same time during tomorrow's game. Brock Purdy gets to work against the Bears defense, which is ranked number 5 against the pass, has struggled a little bit more against the run, but has some really good pieces. Montez Sweat at edge rusher, obviously Jalen Johnson at cornerback. It's who Purdy works against. Caleb Williams, meanwhile, gets to work against the 49ers defense that has been the second worst in the league over the past 2 weeks. No Nick Bosa for the 49ers. He's been downgraded to out. So this is a languishing defense facing a Chicago Bears offense that has struggled because Caleb Williams has not been good so far this year. Yes, he's made a few sporadically good throws, but he ranks number 27 in QBR. So the quarterback matchup, if you compare it, Purdy's number 7 in QBR, Williams is number 27. At the most important position, the 49ers have a significant advantage. Purdy is proven MVP finalist. Caleb Williams, at this point in his career, looks like a bad bet. I mean, the Bears invested a lot to get Caleb Williams, and he's been sacked 49 times already this year, 8 more than the second most sacked quarterback. So that is obviously in the 49ers' favor. But what isn't in their favor is the fact that their defense is second worst in the league over the past 2 games. Their defense without Nick Bosa has shown an inability to meaningfully slow down opposing offenses. And it's that defense that Caleb Williams is going to get to face. So when we talk about quarterback matchups like this, the one I have written at the bottom, you have to remember that both quarterbacks are facing markedly different defenses in this game. And that's why I think that it is going to be close tomorrow. 49ers may have a big advantage at the QB spot, but I do think that the Bears have a significant advantage defensively. And Caleb Williams also is not surrounded by bad talent. Caleb Williams has some good receivers. He's got a good offensive line, number 6 in the NFL in pass blocking efficiency, pass block win rate. And he's got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. So this is not going to be an easy game for the 49ers from a talent perspective. The Chicago Bears are not a bad football team. In fact, Caleb Williams and their recently fired head coach, you could say those have been the 2 weaknesses of the Chicago Bears so far. They're going to be moving on to the interim coach for this game against the 49ers. Keys in this one, and I wrote about some of them up in the San Francisco Standard on our predictions piece. By the way, you can sign up right now for memberships at the San Francisco Standard. Just go sfstandard.com/memberships. A lot of cool perks, including a free month at Fitness SF and a bunch of events that we're going to be having this year on top of all the good work that you're going to get to see, including our predictions. So you can actually go to the predictions article. I'm going to copy and paste this and send it over to Mike so he can put this into the description for us. But at the bottom here, you can sign up for stories to come straight to your inbox, and then you can join for the membership as well on the bottom right. Anyway, keys for the 49ers in this game. Guys are going to have to get open, period. I mean, Jalen Johnson's a really good cornerback. Kevin Byard's a good safety. The Bears have good players on the back end of their defense, and I really do think that the 49ers, if they're going to be able to run the football with Isaac Guerendo and whoever else they toss in there to replace Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason, they're going to have to loosen up the box. I don't see a scenario in which the Chicago Bears play this loose off the line of scrimmage and let the 49ers just establish themselves and establish confidence for Isaac Guerendo. So it's going to be a test for the pass game, and Purdy hadn't been the problem in the pass game. I think Shanahan has needed to be better. I think that he's going to have to scheme in some good layups for Brock Purdy tomorrow. They went to the screen pass well 7 times last week in Buffalo. It wouldn't be a bad thing if they went back to it 7 more times this week. You got to block Montez Sweat, but that could be easier said than done. So that's why you've got to get the ball out of Brock Purdy's hand. But establish rhythm passing wise, scheme guys open, and then whenever there is man coverage and you need them to win downfield, well, maybe a couple completions under the belt early on that Kyle Shanahan is able to draw into the actual schematics can help the 49ers when push comes to shove. Ricky Pearsall hasn't logged a catch since the game against Tampa Bay. I think that he's going to be somebody that we really need to focus on tomorrow. If the 49ers are going to have a chance to put up the mid-20s to 30 points against Chicago, well, Ricky Pearsall is going to have to separate on the other side of Jawan Jennings, who's the ex-receiver who may be seeing some action against Jalen Johnson. Obviously, Deebo Samuel. But I think with Deebo, his forte is the shorter pass game, some of those screens. So let's look at Deebo Samuel and let's look at Kyle Shanahan and let's say, okay, are the 49ers going to make this work with Deebo Samuel? Shanahan said that Deebo's decline in production this year has a lot more to do with the 49ers offensive structure and offensive failures. And that's Shanahan pointing at himself than Deebo Samuel losing a step. And I've seen Deebo Samuel explode for 3 kick returns over the past 2 games. So I know that he hasn't lost a step. I know that he can still move. So the 49ers need to set it up so he can do just that. I think that is one of the keys for the 49ers as they try to take down the Chicago Bears tomorrow. San Francisco favored by 3.5 points. Other side of the football, there are weapons for the Bears. I listed a lot of them just a few minutes ago, but Caleb Williams has been slow to go through his progressions. That's why he's been sacked 49 times, the most in the league, despite the fact that the offensive line ranks number 6 in that pass block win rate. So continue to cover well, and I think the 49ers haven't done all too poorly in straight-up pass coverage, but to get to that point, you've got to slow down the run. And this defense for the 49ers has been pathetic against the run over the past couple weeks. Again, they won't have Nick Bosa in this game, so they're going to have to find a way to scrap and claw their way to holding DeAndre Swift and the Chicago Bears offense to limited rushing efficiency. This is not as good of a run offense as the Green Bay Packers, not as good of a run offense as the Buffalo Bills, but it is absolutely imperative that the 49ers do that. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, the Bears, again, this is not as good of a football team as the one that the 49ers played last week or the one that the 49ers played the week before that in the Packers or the Buffalo Bills. So as we take a look right now at the team tiers, you're going to see a Chicago Bears team that is significantly below where the 49ers have been out this season. And the 49ers are not in a very impressive spot because especially of the struggles of the past 2 weeks. Here are the team tiers for you to see exactly where the Chicago Bears stand. 49ers in what? Buffalo's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. 49ers are tier 4. The Bears are in tier 5. Defense has been good, better than San Francisco's, and the offense has been below average. So we can bill it as Brock Purdy against Caleb Williams, but really this is about Brock Purdy against the good Bears defense. They're up here, and Caleb Williams against the bad 49ers defense. The last 2 weeks, the 49ers have been down here somewhere defensively. As a team, I would say the last 2 weeks, the 49ers have been in the bottom left. Do I think the 49ers have enough to pull this out? I picked them to lose the past 2 weeks, but I do think that they do have just enough to squeak this one out tomorrow against the Bears, 23-20. Is it important that the 49ers win? Well, I mean, they're still alive for a playoff berth. The chances may not be high, but you got to compete in the NFL. The tanking talk has just got to stop. That's just idiotic stuff. In the National Football League, this is a physical sport, a competitive sport. Culture matters, and stringing together wins can only be good for the 49ers for the 2025 season, even if they don't make the playoffs. So we'll see how they respond with their backs up against the wall in this game against the Chicago Bears tomorrow. Should be very, very interesting because the 49ers are 5-7. The last time that they've been mired with a losing record this late in the season was 2020. And that was the year where they finished 6-10, but I think still finished fighting, and structurally things were good, and that helped them carry over into 2021. I know there was a slow starter in 2021, but I don't think that they lost their belief and they lost their mojo. I don't think that ever happened in 2020, despite all the injuries. And obviously very beaten up here in 2024. You realize that football is going to work in ebbs and flows. And even if you're in one of the ebbs, you're going to want to make sure that you keep on pushing forward to maintain that good spirit in the building, because this is the kind of stuff that can carry over from year to year in both a positive way and a negative way. So that's what the 49ers are going to be looking at. Public Rec. This show is brought to you by them and the Game Changer pants, the office pants that look like Monday but feel like Sunday. As I mentioned, they sent me a pair a couple weeks ago. I've been very happy with them. Margot has been very happy with them, and you can be very happy with them too. Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off when you use the code Lombardi at checkout. That's 20% off with the code Lombardi at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Give yourself or someone you love the gift of comfort this holiday. Boom. There we go. Taking a quick look, making sure everything is playing on YouTube here on my phone. This is picture in picture. Take a look at this. YouTube within YouTube. It's a little washed out there. But yeah, everything is playing fine and we're good. Anyway, prediction, 49ers 23, Bears 20. I do think the 49ers squeaked this one out, but I do urge you to look at the quarterback situation objectively. Williams gets to play against the bad defense and Purdy is playing against the good defense. Those are the challenges in front of both offenses in this game. All right, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Should be a fun one. Talk to you soon.